Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on Blackbird. It's a new TV series at Apple TV starring the Kingsman guy who also played Elton John and probably one of Ray Liotta's last projects as his dad. This looks really intense, based on a book or true events. No, I think it's based on true events. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's what? The Pineys. Books 1 through 9. Available now at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. This almost makes me want to get Apple TV. It looks that good. So Ray Liotta is the dad, and Eggers, I believe his name is Tommy Eggers, who's in fantastic shape, by the way. He's like they're both sort of shifty. His son finally gets caught doing whatever the hell he was up to. So he goes to prison for a long time. So they offer him a deal. If he'll go into the maximum security prison and befriend a serial killer of women who's about to get out of prison so they could keep him locked away forever, they will get free him. This is the only way he could get out of prison. So, of course, he agrees to do it. First he says, oh, no amount of money, but how about freedom? And so, yeah, I think this is inspired by true events. So, yeah, it's probably loosely based on something. Who's the murderer? He's got a really interesting take. He talks in a weird, high-pitched voice. Yeah, he's a weirdo. Total weirdo. But they suspect he killed like 14 women, but they could only find the body of one. So he goes into prison, and everybody's against him. Of course, the guards, they don't know. Or maybe they do, and they're blackmailing him. And he's got to get some intel, get him to confess before, he gets freed, or else they may just leave him in the damn prison. So, Taron Egerton? Is that his name? Paul Walter Hauser, Greg Kinnear. I can't even pronounce that guy's name. And Ray Liotta. Is that his name, Taron Egerton? I didn't think that was his name. Hold on. Let's go to the IMDb. I thought it was Tommy something. Just looked at it. I can't remember anything. Yeah, that's his name. I don't know why I saw Tommy. I guess because his name in the show is Jimmy. Taron Egerton. That's a tough name to remember. Paul Walter Hauser is the murderer. Greg Kinnear, I think he's like a cop or a lawyer or something. There's Ray, and not really recognizing any of the other actors, but yeah, it looks super intense. It really does. I would totally watch this, not just because Ray Liotta's in it. July 8th on Apple TV, but because it's a really good premise. I mean, I like the idea of, you got a bad guy trying to kind of do a good thing, even though it is to help himself. But, to me, these are more interesting characters when they're bad. I just looked at Black Adam. I mean, it doesn't look uninteresting. It's just that, it's a superhero thing, and I got a blind spot for that. But for this is as interesting, I think, as sort of grounded reality stuff gets. When you're dealing with a guy who's not perfect, he's a criminal, and he's trying to help himself, but maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. But he's, the best. It's typical film noir when you really think about it, because he's probably the best guy in this prison, right? He's just a regular criminal. The other guys are like out of their minds, psychopaths, and murderers, just violent. And and like he said, this is hell. I mean, this is hell. It doesn't get any worse than this. So I don't know what they even have to do to lie to get him in there. You know, it's that's the other thing too. You know, the guards would assume he's just as crazy and as violent as the other ones, right? That he would have to do something so horrible, even though they would make it up. They wouldn't let them in on it because, unfortunately, a lot of guards are suspects too in these cases. You can't totally trust them because, you know, there's a lot of corruption in the correctional world. About as much as cops, probably slightly more because they're so drenched in the criminal underworld 24/7. You know, I mean, I can only imagine how tempting it is. You know, when you got some guy in prison who just, and he doesn't seem like that bad a guy. Maybe he's a drug dealer. He's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars, and he could just throw you some money if you just get him a phone or get him a pizza or get him whatever he needs. And you know, that's how it starts. It's no big deal at first, and then the next thing you know, you're smuggling in drugs and God knows what else. So yeah, this looks good. Although I gotta say, he's too handsome for the role. Right? You know, they're kind of making him look a little sketchy as best they can. They give him dark hair, but the guy he's way too handsome for this role. Now he's a good actor. I think he's a pretty good actor. I mean, I liked the Kingsman from an acting standpoint. From a plot standpoint, I think it's horrible. I think it's absolutely horrible. But he's a pretty good actor, I would say. I mean, he's good in the role. I thought, you know, as much as I rolled my eyes at half the plot of the Kingsman, the first one, you know, he was engaging enough that I didn't hate the movie. So, you know, I think this is a good role for him. You know, from an acting standpoint, you know, from a casting standpoint, I think he's a little too handsome. I think he needed to, I don't know, give him a scar or something, ugly him up a little bit, or they needed to get an actor who doesn't look chiseled. I mean, the guy's just too handsome. Like Ray Liotta, he was always right in that window, right? He's handsome enough to be an actor, but he also looks a little sketchy, like generally. And that's what you need, I think, in casting when you're casting a criminal. You need a guy who looks a little sketchy. You know, not that they are personally, not like Ray Liotta was sketchy. He just kind of has that look about him. And some of these actors who played heavies over the years, oh, I can't think of the actor's name. What the hell was his name? Oh, I can't. I lost it. A bunch of guys back in the 80s. They were heavies. And they look evil. They look kind of evil. But they're not. They're just actors. He doesn't look evil. You know, he just looks like a male model is the problem. But he might be able to act his way around it. Maybe. I mean, it's tough, but it's possible. And it's not like every criminal who goes to jail looks like a criminal either. But, you know, again, it all comes down to casting and acting. I mean, this guy looks like a serial killer, right? I mean, he looks scary. I mean, you know, setting aside the mutton chops, he's just, you know, a hulking guy. You know, and the high pitched voice totally makes it even more messed up, I think. So, will I watch this? Well, I don't have Apple TV, so I guess he was running guns? Yeah, guns is bad. Oh, they'll get you for guns. So, yeah, I would totally watch this. I don't know how I'm going to watch it because I don't have Apple TV, but I'll figure out something. Maybe it'll be on a rental. Maybe it'll be on Amazon. Maybe Apple TV, like all the streaming services, will finally say, oh, you know, if we open this up and put commercials on it, this could work. But if you have Apple TV, and you can invite me over, I'll watch it with you. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Yeah, there's no 3-act breakdown. I mean, kinda. Yeah, okay. Real quick. So the beginning of the series would be like Act 1. Him committing the crime, getting caught, the deal is cut, He goes, the whole first episode is probably one of the best ones, the first and the last. He cuts the deal, goes inside. It looks like it's going to be awful. A few episodes, it's him adjusting, eventually befriending him. The middle of it is him being this crazy, crazy serial killer's buddy, trying to get close to him, while other people in the prison work against him. Other prisoners, the guards. Third act, or final 2 episodes, is going to be him getting the confession and then probably fighting the guy at some point. Probably getting trapped, like the guards, I don't know, trap him in an area of the prison and let him kill each other. But he ends up killing him, maybe just ends up knocking him out, and then the people who want him to testify get him to testify. He's free after many years, and he goes to the straight and narrow, maybe, not quite, but maybe, and he's reunited with Ray, his dad, and so there he looks a little sketchy. You got the tousled hair. So it's called Blackbird. Looks great. Doesn't look good. Looks great. An incredibly rare upvote for Apple TV, right there for you. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. I will be at the Toms River Elks Club on Sunday for the Jersey Shore Comic Book Show. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you in the next one.